Hi, I'm Jess,
And I'm Paige.
and we're the broadcast.
Babes.
So Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber broke the internet.
They did. It's all over my For You page. I was so confused for the first 3 days because I don't really look at the TikTok drama. It's not really TikTok drama, though. It is
This is like
A-list celeb drama. But I'm a big Selena Gomez fan.
Well, I wouldn't call Hailey an A-lister, but that's fine.
You wouldn't? I feel like she is now.
No, she's not. She still has no talents.
Who's her dad?
Stephen Baldwin.
Is he related to Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh, and he's a designer.
Who's a designer?
Never mind. The dad.
They're actors.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Unless
No, it's fine. Rewind. So, yeah, I was looking at my For You page. I was confused. I watched a few TikToks that got me up to speed. Now I understand. But Jess still had to explain some things to me because I was confused about the whole history of their relationship.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the whole situation?
So I've always hated Hailey Bieber. I've never been a fan. I always thought she was, like, right from the start, like, I could see what she did to Selena. Just, like, marrying him. I mean, he's at fault, too, but marrying him 2 months after they broke up, her constantly stalking him, growing up and being a fan of Selena and copying everything Selena does.
Posting about their relationship.
Yeah, she has the same tattoo as Selena. Like, everything about her, I'm sorry, I think she's literally Joe from You. She's a stalker, and she's crazy.
Jess.
Have you watched everything? She copies everything Selena does. Everything.
Well,
Word for word, her interviews, I want people to know my heart.
I saw that.
Yeah, everything. She
saw
literally
that.
mirrors her personality. It's scary.
Do you think though, looking at the situation, do you think Selena Gomez knows what she's doing, like, in this whole situation? She's instigating a little bit.
Yes and no. I think if she really wanted to instigate, like, this would have been going on for the past, like, 5 years. But she's stayed silent and classy for so long. So if she even wanted to speak out and defend herself, like, I think she should. I don't think she deserves, like, how they treat her.
Right. I watched this thing on TikTok this morning. Actually, it was on my way here. And it was this guy. I think I sent it to you. And he was saying, like, Hailey Bieber's only mad because she knows she'll always be the second girl. Like, the one.
The second girl, and she's a nepotism baby. That's a huge thing, is that Selena came from nothing.
I don't know what that is.
She has famous parents. She has a famous family.
Okay.
She's friends with the most famous family in the world.
Right.
And she was born into money. Selena came up from nothing. She was an actress on Barney as a kid. She was from a single teenage mom, and she made herself. And that's why also Kylie and Kendall, like, they don't like her either, because Selena used her talents to create an empire, and she's so likable, yet none of them have talents. And even so, like, they're extremely insecure. That's why Kylie Jenner has to change her face every year and work on her. It's true, though. Like, Selena hasn't changed much. She stayed true to herself, and she has an autoimmune disease. You know, she doesn't have she didn't come from the privilege, and now she has a struggle that they can never understand.
Right. Wow. That was actually really deep. I've always loved Selena Gomez. I've always thought she was really naturally pretty, which I'm sure she's gotten, like, maybe some work done. I don't know. But, like,
she's gained weight. That's been the big thing, is
Right.
that she gained weight because of the autoimmune disease.
Right.
And that's the only thing they can have against her, which is just the root of mean girl behavior.
I know. I love Selena Gomez. I think she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Even now, like, I think but in her prime, like, Selena Gomez was the it girl. So, like, when I
Yeah.
see her now, she made a TikTok and she was like, oh, like, I wish I could be as pretty as, like, Bella Hadid. I'm like, she still is,
yeah.
like, the it girl. So it's weird to see, like, the celebrities have the insecurities too.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, growing up, we probably looked at her as, like, God.
Oh, I was obsessed. Between her and Miley, like, I was obsessed with even Miley unfollowed Hailey after all this stuff.
Did she?
Miley did, Billie Eilish did, Harry Styles. The list goes on.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
they're really against her.
She's a mean girl. She's not a nice person.
I feel like most of them are mean girls.
Well, like her and the Jenners, yeah. But I mean, you look at, like, Selena and Taylor and their relationship, they're loyal to each other. Whereas Kendall and Hailey have been, like, bouncing back and forth from Justin Bieber, and, like, their interactions about him are weird. They were trying to steal him away from Selena, like, plotting. Nothing about it was kind. Like, you can have a crush on a guy and he has a girlfriend, whatever, but don't go trying to break them up. That's crazy.
That's weird behavior.
It's really weird.
Wait, so what was the thing that Hailey Bieber was on, like, an award show, and then they announced, like, Taylor Swift, and she, like, gagged?
Yeah.
What was it, same thing?
Yeah. It's because she's friends with Selena.
Oh, that's so weird.
That she hates Selena so much. That's the root of it all. She hates Selena. She wants to be Selena. That's what it comes down to. I think more than her obsession with Justin was her obsession with Selena.
Oh, but then they took the picture together. I thought they were friends.
I didn't believe that either.
I reposted that on Instagram.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of embarrassing.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, yay, beef over. And then
no, there's like, no way. There's just never how you could never be close to a person like Hailey.
Right. I feel like it's like the TikTok said that I saw, it probably boils down to just insecurity, and like she's insecure in her own relationship with her husband. So it's like
a huge part of it is her dad too.
Why?
And like their church. That was like a huge part of it. It started, he wanted her to marry either Justin Bieber, Cody Simpson, and there was one more. Like they were the upcoming pop star that was also Christian. That's what they wanted. Oh. Justin Bieber was huge into Christianity, and he wanted to like marry her off. It was like Justin Bieber in an interview said it was like an arranged marriage, and he also said he thought marriage was gonna fix his problems, and it didn't.
I saw that.
Like, can you imagine your husband saying that? No.
Like, what happens behind closed
doors? Just like out of respect for your wife, don't make that public knowledge. Just don't.
Right. I always see the videos of like Justin Bieber like slamming the door on like Hailey's face.
He treats her like crap, and he still hasn't come out to defend his wife. Like, you don't make any statement.
Right. That's
it's
crazy.
My husband, no, that would hurt my heart. I would get a divorce. Absolutely not. So she's being publicly bullied and shamed on the internet.
Oh, like
yes,
canceled.
More than canceled. Bullied. Like, people are attacking her.
Right. Well, they do seem like toxic people.
Like, even all he has to say is like, you guys don't know the ins and outs of my relationship. Please keep our private life private. It's no one's business.
He loves Selena.
He does still love Selena, of course.
Of course.
I would. Him Googling her Coachella outfit. Did you see that?
No.
In the background of his Instagram story, his Google search was Selena Gomez Coachella.
No.
Yeah.
That must have been staged.
No, it wasn't. It was like legit from his Instagram story.
That's so embarrassing.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I just think there's some sketchy stuff when it comes to how they got together, and her dad was plotting. She used to like chase him around. She had messages with other believers, right, that she met on Twitter, asking for his location and showing up to his hotels, like when she was 15 years old. Yes. She's been stalking him for years.
The marriage, though, happened pretty fast.
In 2 months.
Was it 2 months?
He was with Selena 2 months before they got married. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of it is like...
And then he wrote Ghost.
Yes, he wrote so many. He's still writing songs. They're still writing songs about each other.
The
Justin
love
and
songs
Selena.
are all about Selena. They're not about Hailey.
No, not at all.
Aww.
I don't feel bad for her.
I feel bad for everyone.
I don't. There are some people you can feel bad for, and then people who... That was the only thing she had going for her, and she sabotaged it. Is like always be like, if she wanted people to find her relatable, the one thing was maybe always being a second option. She sabotaged that by bullying Selena publicly. She came after the one person, which even if she is a second option, that's not Selena's fault. That's your husband's fault that you married after 2 months of him being with another woman.
Because he was unwell.
Well, I don't know what happened there, but...
Well, he said that he married to fix problems, so he obviously wasn't good.
Yeah, I think there was some weird stuff behind the scenes, but... Anyways, we want to use this episode, though, to relate to real life. Everyone comes in contact with mean girls, or at some point you've been mean to other people. Like, it happens, but I think, like, as we've talked about before, is growth and how important that is. And I think that's a major thing with determining if a friend is toxic or not, is seeing if they're changing, or even if they're getting worse, or if it's a repeated behavior.
Right. We've been wanting to film an episode about toxic friends, good friends for a while now. We just thought this was a good opportunity to squeeze it in.
Yeah, because it's happening in real time on a large scale.
And I feel like we've all came across people like Hailey.
Yes.
In our own lives. Like, I don't know, just people that are insecure and kind of project onto you.
Yeah.
And that's like the worst type of friend. I've had friends like that in the past, especially in high school. Like,
yeah,
so many people that just like are mean to you because they're insecure with yourself, but at the time you never think of it that way.
Yeah, well, it's two things. Insecurities often manifest as either replicating someone or jealousy, which is usually, those go hand in hand. Like, you're copying someone because you're jealous, you want to be them, and that's exactly what Hailey's doing. And then the other thing with insecurity is, you know, we always talk about this. You can be insecure and not take it out on your friends or anyone in your life. Like, it doesn't have to.
Right.
But a problem often with people with severe insecurity that don't recognize it is they really hate themselves. And you can hate yourselves, but not talk badly about yourself. once you talk badly badly about yourself, you can kind of see how that person would be talking about everyone badly, because that's just their lens of the world. And I think Haley does that a lot. I think she's very insecure, so she talks badly about Selena and probably all of her friends and everyone in general. Like even how fans say they, when they meet her, how she acts towards them, she's really mean to fans. And I think that's because they hate themselves and they think that self-talk is normal, that they can talk about everyone like that, but that's not normal.
Right, and like you said before, there's a difference between, we had a talk in the car the other day, and like everyone does have insecurity. Like I'm insecure, you're insecure. You can be the most confident person in the world, but in your head there is that like bit of negative self-talk and all that. But we talked about like you need to keep that sometimes. Like it's okay to talk about your problems and how you're insecure, but you don't want to project that onto other people ever.
Yeah.
And it's not really an excuse to make other people feel bad or, you know, like sometimes you just need to keep things within, even though like I'm a full believer in like talk things out sometimes, like if you need to. But when it's being negative towards other people, that's when it's like the line. Like you don't want to like.
And I also have a problem when it turns into a victim complex and not being able to realize as a person that, yes, you might struggle in different ways, but every person is struggling. That's not a reason for you to act out in any way. And then they're unable to see what they're doing is wrong because they feel so bad for themselves instead of realizing what's actually going on. Like even if you hurt someone else and you make it about yourself and you can't see what you did was wrong, that's where I really I can't stand a victim complex at all.
Right. And I'm literally so glad that my mother, sorry, Mom. And with these things, I always try to like look back at myself because I've done a lot of development over time. Like I used to, for example, I am so bad with communication, like digitally, like so bad at it. And people always like have told me that in the past. And I was like, oh, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't have to fix it. And then, but like, it is like, if everyone's telling you something, like sometimes it's important to like think like, okay, even if I don't think, and we've talked about this on an episode, but even if I don't think what I'm doing is bad, if everyone's telling me this thing, like maybe I should try to fix it, because like if I'm negatively affecting other people by not communicating, like that's an easy thing to fix. Like I'll just go on my phone more often and text. So it's like, I think it's so important to really look within. And I always say this, but be like super honest with yourself. Like if everyone's telling me this, let's think about it. Like maybe I can reflect and see like maybe that was a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
And obviously you can fix it once you've diagnosed your own problem, but like you need to be able to diagnose your own problem in order to fix it.
And see, something as simple as that is just being selfless. Like maybe you don't want to be on your phone a lot and maybe it's not that big of a deal, but if you know someone wants to talk to you and cares about your response, put in the effort.
Right.
Just don't make it about yourself. Like even if it's hard for you, just be selfless with the people you care about and the people you love.
Right. I think that with friends, like I've gone through this experience so much recently of like, I tell you all the time, I am so bad with like unfollowing people, like so bad at it, because like I literally, before I would be friends with everyone to please everyone around me. And like, I think now it's so important, especially like seeing the situation, seeing like how toxic people can be. Like you have to really protect your own energy. Like Selena, for example, like you said, like she didn't say anything throughout the whole thing because honestly, she was probably just protecting your energy, like ignoring the problem. But I think it's huge to, one, protect your energy, and then two, like be okay with leaving those toxic people out of your life. Like no one's telling you how to be friends with everybody. Like of course be nice to everyone, of course.
Selena's great at that, I think. I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but she keeps it pretty like kind to them on social media. I know she doesn't really, that's her song. She doesn't speak out against everyone attacking her, but I don't know if I would either. And I don't know if that's right or wrong, but at some point, like how much abuse can you take where you're just like, whatever, just like it's karma.
And you hit a key point right there too of like not posting on social media. Like I think it's so important to sometimes keep your life private.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this with guests. Like social media, right, it's a great thing, but like you have to be aware that like your actions on social media reflect in the real world. Like you can't just, like Selena Gomez, if she just like aired all her dirty laundry on social media, people would not like her as much. Like I can guarantee it. Like people like her because she's classy and she keeps her business to herself, and like
unproblematic.
That's huge. Like you don't want to like, again, project your problems onto thousands of people on the internet, because the internet, anything can be picked up in a second, and then there's hundreds and thousands of viewers on it. So you have to be careful about keeping classy, like dealing with your problems internally. If you have a problem, talk about it, but not for everyone to see.
And Haley posted, so it was just not classy. The stuff she posted on the internet between the eyebrows.
You think that was about her?
Yeah. And God's timing is always right. Those videos, I mean, I think you need to be aware of people that are too open about personal things on the internet. I think it shows they have no boundaries in any aspect of their life. So why would they have boundaries with a friendship or even just being cordial with someone?
Right. And it's about like friendships, and I feel like you need to be able to talk to people. Like it's huge to be able to like I'm a person, and I know you are too. Like if I have like a problem, or like if I need to talk about something, I trust 100%. Like my friends will like keep my information like to themselves, which might be naive to some point, to like trust that your friends don't like repeat your business.
Well, that's how you need to know when to cut a person out of your life, because if they aren't a person that can keep your business to themselves or know not to share it, then you need to look for those red flags as a toxic person, and either don't talk to them at all, or definitely don't trust them with your information, especially in the era of social media where they can just put anything out online and destroy a person
so easily, like so incredibly easily. And I just think that it's so important just like really know who the non-toxic people of your life are. Like we posted a thing on social media the other day, and it was like having good friends is just like, you know, when you have a good friend, like this is how you feel when you're around them. Like they bring your energy up. Like you don't want those energy drainers, which we always talk about. Like friendships should be, I know all relationships have their hardships, but friendships should be easy. Like,
well, yes and no. I think friendships are still hard, but I think you need a person that, because just like any relationship, they're hard.
Right.
But you need a person that's going to give power to you without draining power from themselves and not taking the energy from you. Like staying away from those energy vampires. I always say that. Like those
energy
are the people.
vampires.
Yeah.
That's
They suck the energy out of you.
So I looked online, because I've had a fair share of toxic people in my life, and I never know when it's over, like when the friendship is over. So I looked up how to deal with toxic people. So know the score, weigh out the pros and cons. I love my pros and cons list. And that will see if they're an energy sucker or an energy giver. Because if there's more pros than cons, there you go. Good friend, more cons than pros. Because everyone's going to have their cons.
Yeah.
Everyone can be annoying. I know I can be annoying. I have my cons. But if the good outweighs the bad, good friend. Next, they say it's your call. Only you can decide what's best for you. So like people can tell you, don't be their friend. They're doing all these bad things. But if you truly in your heart want to keep being their friend, you should keep being their friend, honestly. Because I say this with relationships too. This might be the worst advice ever. I think you should go back until you hate them, or go back until you know in your heart you can never go back. Because people, you're looking at me crazy. People have told me like,
he's like beating you up. You're like, yeah,
well,
I got to go back for more.
Okay, well, that's different. But like I've had guys that have been toxic, and I've gone back, and now I'm completely over them. But like if I hadn't, I would have been like, well, what if? Stupid mindset, I guess. But like you need to know in your heart that you want to stop being their friend. Like it's no one else's call but yours. Then going along with that, it's your timeline. Take the time until you know when to make the decision. And lastly, take some space before the friendship ends. If you feel good, like if you are like, all right, I need some time, you don't need to tell them. Just take your time. And if you're like, wow, my life is actually carefree and like really nice right now, that's how you know they're an energy sucker. Yeah. Right. So just test it out. It's like a test run. Like take some space. Be like, all right, do I like my life better now or when they were in it? If you like it better now, then that's maybe your sign to go. But I really think that it's important just to know, like, you don't have to be friends with anyone. Like, that's so big, because I always kept friends around. Like, that you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I really struggle with, like, cutting people out of my life. I've always, like, either feel bad or I reminisce about, like, you know, I romanticize the past, like, things that were good rather than thinking about all the bad. Because there's always good and bad, no matter what, with people, with situations, everything. It's always going to look better in the past because you hold on to what's good rather than what's bad. So it's hard to remember sometimes, but you have to just think about how your life is better without the person or without whatever was bringing you down.
Right. And like, same thing with Hailey Bieber and Selena. Selena just lets it slide off her shoulders. Maybe she's crying. Maybe we don't know.
She does what's good for her.
Right.
She leaves social media. Right. She's off of social media.
You have to be selfish in some friendship situations. Like you said, you have to be selfless when you do have that true friend. But when you're like picking and choosing your friends, like if someone's not good for you, like you can't be like, well, if I leave, then like they'll be sad or won't have any friends. But like when they're here, like you're upset and then you're like all stressed out and all that stuff. So like,
And if someone's doing it to themselves, you can't feel bad for them.
right.
That's where I draw the line. If it's a continued behavior and they're isolating themselves, especially from multiple people in their lives, that's kind of like where you just can't feel bad anymore.
Right. And honestly, I've come to the conclusion with like friendships, like this also might be bad advice. I don't know. But like I would rather have like either none or one or two friends than like friends that are holding me down. Like last year, I swear to you, I said it all the time, like I have no friends, like none. And like I took that time to like take care of myself, like figure out, all right, well, first of all, why don't I have friends? Which like maybe it was me, I don't know. But like it's really like becoming okay with being comfortable with you and like your family and like the really close people around you. And then once you do that, then you can branch out and find some more friends. But like I went like a year, like not joking, without any friends. And honestly, it was like a cleanse. Like, that might be bad. But like now I have friends like you and Taylor and like obviously these people don't know these names. But like these friends that I know truly care about me and like my success is just as important as theirs.
Yeah.
Like Taylor the other day, she's helping me find jobs because I'm coming out of college. And she was like, Paige, honestly, like your success is just as important as me finding a new job or any success that I have. Like my friends, I want to see them go up because when they go up, I go up. Like it's like I think that mindset is so important. Like to really care about your friends like you care about yourself.
I've never understood like when people want the worst for their friends, like out of jealousy. I'm like, don't you want to bring everyone up with you and say, wow, I have such a cool friend, and then whatever they're benefiting from can also benefit you in some way, either by a connection or even just by learning from them and how they got to a space or just anything. There's so much valuable information when your friend grows that you can take with you and you guys can help each other grow.
Right. And then you walk in a room with the coolest friend group ever. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, like all of our friends are doing so well. And like, I wish, like, I want everyone, first of all, we're all in different fields. So like, even if you're in the same field, I think you should be supportive, but especially if you're all doing different things, like why wouldn't you want your friends to be like the best? Like I don't want to be like the star, like in front of all my friends. Like, no, like these are my friends. Like I want them to be like where I am, or I don't want to say higher because I want to be successful, but like, you know, like I want them to be just as or more successful as I am because first of all, it's going to help me networking long run. And second of all, like you want to surround yourself with people that are doing well. Like,
yeah, well, it also motivates you in the long run to keep people around you that are doing things to better themselves. If you're around people that don't better themselves, it's going to bring you down too. And even surrounding yourself with people that gossip, you're going to start gossiping. And if they're gossiping,
I've gotten better.
I don't think you gossip a lot at all.
Really?
No.
I don't. Okay.
I think there's a difference between venting and gossiping.
I vent.
Yeah, I think that's totally different.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like you're sitting there bashing people. Never. You're just like, this is what happened. This is how it made me feel. And I think that's just like another form of therapy.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to gossip. I remember what I was going to say earlier. It was about gossiping.
Okay.
I think like when people gossip and I hear like people always come to me and be like, Blank was saying this about you. Blank was saying this about you. I'm like, why did they feel so comfortable to talk about me to you? Like that's kind of like, do you know what I mean? Not
yes and no.
I know what you're thinking. Not in some perspectives, but like I think that when you're surrounded by like gossip all the time, it's like why are they gossiping so much around like you? Like you know what I mean? It happened in school all the time to me. And it just like I just like don't I think what you give out into the universe will give back to you if you're looking for it in the proper way. So like if I used to be a gossip in high school so bad. But now that I don't gossip anymore, I've noticed not as many people gossip about me or like I don't hear about it. So like I feel like a lot of the times when you gossip, like I don't know, like it's just not it's negative all the way around for you, for people around you. I
think if you have a friend that gossips to you a lot, they're probably gossiping about you too.
I think that was more of my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if someone's gossiping to you, it might just be they feel comfortable with you. And then you can kind of determine, should that person be sticking up for me? Is it not worth it? Is it too uncomfortable? Or is it enough that they're just telling me to inform me that there's a fake friend around me, you know?
Right. How do you feel about sticking up for you in those situations? Like, do you think it's worth it?
I think it depends on the situation completely.
Right.
I think to some extent you can, or some extent you're like, this person's not going to listen to me. I'm just going to listen to this, tell my friend, and then get rid of that other person, you know?
Right. Because sometimes
move in silence.
I get so mad when people don't stick up for me, but like I can't, because like, well, I I don't know. Like, I just, many times it just creates more drama. Like, if people are like, if you're like, wait, why are you saying that about this person? Then it's more talk, and just like, sometimes it's just better to be like,
Yeah.
okay, you feel that way. And then like move on.
You can also say like I disagree, or versus like attacking the person back. It depends on the situation. I think depending what's being said and how aggressive it is, if they're lying about the person.
Yeah.
But
Gossiping is one of the worst things, I think.
yeah, it's really bad, and that's what creates all the drama too.
Right.
Let's continue with some more red flags because gossip is a huge one. We talked about self-hate.
Did you like my steps?
Your steps. I thought you meant your step count. I'm like, I don't know where's my Apple Watch?
Where's your Apple Watch?
Must be in my car.
My steps to removing friends.
Yeah, I did like them. I think that's important too, is knowing when to take the plunge and how to do it. And it's hard to cut someone out of your life and not feel like a bad person, to go about it the right way. And I don't know if there's any right or wrong way. And sometimes feelings get hurt, and you're not a perfect person. You know that from dealing with a person that's not perfect either. But you have to do what's right for you and as a whole.
Let me just say, sometimes it's not even the other friend's fault either. Like, sometimes people just don't click.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
that's true, too.
friendships, like maybe you're an energy drainer to me, but like to the next person, it's not. So like, it's not to say that like if a friendship doesn't work, it's either of your faults. Like sometimes people just don't click.
Yeah.
And
just like
even in that case,
a relationship, people just don't. Not everyone's meant for each other and where they're at in their life.
Right. More red flags.
More red flag. Okay, this is a big one. We kind of talked about it, but a person that always makes everything about themselves.
That used to be me.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. Like with my family always says I love attention. I love attention.
Loving attention
There's
and
a
like
difference.
being able to listen to your friend and listen to their problems and not make it about yourself, or get jealous if they have the spotlight for a minute. That's different.
That is different. I used
Every
to
girl
be like that.
loves attention. Like,
That's
let's just
true.
be real. They
That's
do.
true.
Especially you're working in broadcasting. Like,
I love attention.
you have to like some amount of attention if you're going to stand in front of a camera for a living.
True. Yeah, but I see what you're saying with that. Listening is such an important value as a friend, or like characteristic to have as a friend, because like I tell you my problems all the time. Like, imagine if every time I said something you were like, yeah, but like with me,
my
like,
life is worse. You don't understand me. Like,
oh, when people say that, I'm just like, I said to my parents sometimes, they get so mad.
and
But
that's
like,
the thing, is like I can recognize when someone has like, wow, this hardship they went through, it's a lot harder than mine. But everyone has their own trauma and everyone deals with it. It's all relative. Like, for whatever you're dealing with is your whole world, and it does hurt you and it impacts yourself. But you also need to be able to come out of trauma, and you need to work on yourself. And as we said before, definitely not take out your personal problems on other people.
right. I think that's huge. But just, that's definitely, that would be a pro. Being a good listener. I just think that's so undervalued. Like, because you always hear the talk, like everyone talks, but then like the listener, like when I feel listened to, like, when you're being listened to, and then when someone's just hearing you, like, there's a big difference. Like when someone comes back with like valuable insight, and like, of course that's not listening, but you get that through listening.
Yeah.
And it's like those conversations, like, when someone's listening to you.
Yeah.
And then you feel so invalidated when someone's not listening. And then like they'll say something back, and you're like, that's completely like not helping, like irrelevant. And I just think that like in order to have, because friendship is communication, like which I need to work on, but like listening is just so underappreciated. I think like being a good listener might be like the most sought after friendship quality I have. Like just being the ability to just listen, not talk, and don't incorporate your life into like the advice you're giving.
Yeah. And I also look for growth. That's like my biggest thing, is because I do believe people can change. But when it takes recognizing that you have problems, which we all have problems. If you don't think you have problems, then honestly, like, we all have problems. Like, everyone can admit that. We're all flawed. We're not all good friends all the time. But, you can recognize when you do something bad, and you can improve.
Right.
And you can not do it again, or try not to do it. Put the effort in, learn how to apologize and move forward. And the quote that always sticks with me is, if you don't grow, you rot. So if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And I think that's a huge indicator of when it's time to move on from someone, is if their behavior is escalating rather than leveling out or even getting better.
Right. And I feel like with us, especially, like, I think we honestly forgive like too easily. Like, I know I do. And like, I'm all for change. Like if you show me through action, not word, that like you want to change and you have the ability to change, like I'm so for like second, even third chances, which is crazy. But like
I forgive everyone.
I forgive because first of all, if you don't forgive it, that just like weighs you down. Like
Yes.
I 100% believe that. But like everyone has the ability to change, like you said. Like people make mistakes. People can be horrible. Like you said, you were a mean girl in high school. Like people can change, and like I want people to change. Like I'll help you grow if you're willing to grow. Like even if you're not where you want to be yet as a friend, if you come to me and you're like, listen, like I know I need to work on this, and this. Like I want to be your friend. I want to like support you. I just don't know how right now. I will literally give you all the support that you need. Like I think that's another important thing. Like be patient with people. But if people like just have no want to change, it's just like therapy. I say it's a lot. Like if you go to therapy and in your head you're like, it's not going to work, like I don't want to change, nothing's going to happen. Like you're not going to grow. But if you're like, I believe in this 100%, manifestation too, I believe in this, I want to grow, like how can I change? You can change.
And what I struggle with forgiveness a lot is like you can forgive someone and not let them back into your life or keep a distance. I struggle to not let people back in. I need to just forgive sometimes and realize, you know, this wasn't right for either of our lives, and just it's better to keep our distance. Like, and you can also love people from afar without letting them back in.
I feel relieved. I feel like I let a weight off my shoulder. Thank you, Haley and Selena, for
Selena? You did not just say Selena.
I did it on purpose.
Gotta keep an eye out for Selena.
Oops. So I'm happy we talked about this because I feel like I've had to do a lot of growing up in the past 2 years, especially with my friendships. And it is hard to let friends go, but sometimes it's a necessity. And talk to people too. Anyone, friends, relationships, literally any.
Even family members.
That's tough.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's taken over my For You page, Haley and Selena, and it's been just like nagging at my brain, like relating it to real life. And I'm so entertained by it on my For You page. And I think there is a lot of valuable lessons to be taken from it. And I think also another thing, like I feel validated in never liking her. I think you should listen to your gut. If you have a bad feeling about someone, you don't even need to see it like with hardcore facts. Trust your gut sometimes, you know?
Oh, yeah. Your gut has your side.
Yeah. But thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Team Selena for life.
Hey, thanks for listening.
Tune in every single Monday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.
Don't forget to leave us a review and follow us on our social media. Our Instagram is @BroadcastBabesPod.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time. I'm Jess.
I'm Paige.
And we are the Broadcast
Babes.